Meredith here. It's Website Wednesdays. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we're going to talk about how to get more leads and sales and traffic with more call to action on your website. So for the past few Wednesdays, I've been doing What's Happening Wednesdays. And I love that, and I love apps, and I love technology, but I only like to talk about things I've actually used and tried, and I've gone through all the apps I have. So we're going to change focus for a few weeks and do a new series and cover some new ground. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm excited to talk to you today. So as you get in, please sign in, comment, or whatever, chat with me, let me know you're here. I see a couple of folks joining. That's awesome. So say hi, and you can also post your questions and such as we go. Okay, websites. How can you get more people requesting information about your goods and services from your website? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, I know we're going to have a big variety of people, big variety of types of businesses on today. I typically work in the home builder industry, so a lot of my references will be around that. If you're not in that industry, I think you can probably still use some of the things I'm going to talk about. For the past 15 years, I'm the creative director of Meredith Communications. It's a digital marketing agency where we build and manage home builder websites. And probably the number one thing I'm asked is, how can I get more leads? How can I get more out of my website? And the answer to that is what we call CTA, or call to action. So your very first homework assignment is to pull up your website, look at the homepage, and I want you to count the number of call to actions on that one page. And then I want you to go through each page of the website, and I want you to count how many call to actions you have per page. So most of the time, unfortunately, I'll find one, if I can find one at all. One is not enough. We want to offer multiple call to actions per page on your website. When I say call to action, let's make sure we're all on the same page. Get it? When I say call to action, what I'm referring to is sign up for our email newsletter, request more information about our product. It's all of the language that asks your website visitors to do something on your website. Register for a free white paper on 10 mistakes, the most commonly 10 mistakes made when remodeling a home. So call to action is where you're asking your website visitors to interact with you, to actually figuratively raise their hand and say, I want more. In some cases, call to action is literally, I want to buy, and it's that advanced. In other cases, it's more just an inquiry or wanting to stay in touch with you. Now, if you're a business owner that's watching and you're running an e-commerce site where you're actually selling goods and services on your site, then of course your call to actions are going to be buy now, download now, order now. And I think those typically types of sites, it's a little more obvious what the call to action is. But for those of us that live in a space where most of the websites we do and our clients do are not e-commerce sites, they're for informational purposes. Eventually, the goal is to get the person who's looking at the website in front of a salesperson to purchase something in person. So if you're in that realm, that's really where my expertise is, and that's where I think I can help you. All right, so I'm just kind of seeing what's going on. Hey, Quint, what's happening? How you doing? Glad you're here. Hey, Terry. Hey, Evan. Got your message. I'll get back to you later. Kevin. Hey, Kevin. I think King of Home Builder Lead Conversion is actually watching too. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you're here. So in case you've just joined me, Quint, we're actually not doing What's Happening today. what? We're doing Website Wednesdays starting today, and we're doing a new series, and we're talking about call to action. So my very first call to action for those of you that are watching is I want you to do an audit of your site page by page and count how many call to actions you have per page. And if the answer is 1 or none, that's not enough. So our goal when we design a website for a home builder is to build 3 to 4, minimal 3 to 4 call to actions per page. Now in your mind, you might be thinking, whoa, that's a lot of call to action. I don't want this thing like the Las Vegas Strip blinking and, buy now, buy now, buy now. I don't want to be tacky about it. Well, we're not going to be tacky about it. Don't worry. But we are going to build in multiple call to actions. Why? Why 3 or 4? Why did I pick that number? All right. So what you want to do is break down your typical buyer's journey. Your typical buyer's journey, obviously there are phases. There's the phase where we're just getting initial information about a product, right? Then we move into an evaluation phase where we're comparing this one against this one. And then we can move into decision phase where we're narrowing it down to a final selection and then we're deciding maybe between A and B. All right, so that's a very basic buyer's journey. And if you want more on that, you got to Google that. There's a ton of it out there. I like for my call to actions on my home builder websites to match at least one call to action per page that matches each of those 3 segments of the buyer's journey. Okay, so stick with me here. If I am just beginning to think I need a new home and I'm just trying to decide what would my timing be, what's out there for me, then a great call to action on every page of the website would be follow us on social media, sign up for an email updates of our upcoming communities, our new model homes, our available now homes, our grand openings, anything where you can give them kind of basic, broad information about your company, about what you offer. That is perfect for that discovery phase. And so you want to have a call to action that speaks to that. Now, let's say we've got somebody in the evaluation phase where they're comparing. Well, this is the phase where they're probably ready to book a tour. And so hands down, out of all the call to actions that we do and we monitor, I look at about 30 home builder websites a month at all their Google Analytics. I have this huge dashboard and I'm looking at how all these sites compare to each other. And hands down, book a tour or request a tour is the most utilized, best converting call to action. And it's perfect for people who have gotten enough information that they're ready to go out and actually see homes. Let me step back for just a second. I know we have a big variety of people on. Welcome everybody. Hi, how you doing? I'm glad you're here. I'm just checking down my list. Hey Terry, hey Susan, Tom and Martha, how you doing? I know we don't have just home builders on this call. You can see I'm used to doing webinars on this Facebook Live. So I want to make sure that I'm including everybody. So let me give you a non-home builder example real quick. Dear friend of ours, one of our best friends here in Raleigh, owns Triad Trailers, Mike Oro. Well, if I take Triad Trailers, they build custom sailboat trailers. So if you need a custom trailer built for your amazing boat, Triad Trailers is the one to pick. So let's say somebody gets on Mike's Triad Trailer site. A good call to action for the investigation for that early phase would be a PDF download on what to look for in a custom boat manufacturer. Just some, you give them the basics. What to look for? Of course, follow us on social media, sign up for our email newsletter. It's that broad, basic information that somebody needs that would be of value to them that you could exchange with them as they're looking and trying to decide. For my speaker friends that are on the call today, it would be 5 things to look for when hiring your next speaker, or when booking the speaker for your next conference, what to look for, or 5 things to avoid if you want to go the salacious route. So I hope you see where I'm going with this, but in this initial phase of the buyer's journey, the calls to action need to give them that more basic, broad overview type of information. All right, then when we move into evaluation, using the Triad Trailers example again, this would be the perfect time for Mike's site to have a PDF comparing himself against competitor ABC. And you could do a chart or a top 10 list approach and give why you're better, or why you do it differently, or how you do it differently. It's also a perfect time to invite somebody for a complimentary 30-minute consultation. For my speaker friends that are watching, for you guys, that's the time you could, in a call to action, be sign up for a 30-minute consultation to brainstorm possible themes and engagement ideas for your next event or conference. So for any kind of business, whether we're talking home builders or trailers or speakers, in that middle part, the call to action, what we want it to do is we want it to pull them in and help them compare and contrast you against the other guys, because that's what they're doing in that phase of the buyer's journey. All right, and then last, we've got the decision-making part of the buyer's journey. And in that, we want to just ask them, pick me, pick me. There's a famous movie, now it's like I've gone blank, but basically in that part, the call to action is going to be pick us, select us, buy now, order today, call now. And that's going to be the strongest call to actions, and probably the ones that you're most used to thinking about or wanting to put on your site. If I had a guess, I would figure that it's steps 1 and 2 of the buyer's journey that you've probably been missing. And just the overall idea that you need multiple call to actions per page, and those call to actions should match up with the phases of the buyer's journey. Okay. All right. We got a lot of people come in. Hi, Kelly. Thank you. I'm glad you saw me in Orlando. That's awesome. Glad you're here. Okay, great. We got a bunch. There's a technical term. We got a bunch more people in. I'm glad you're here. If you have questions about how to get more leads out of your website using call to action, please write a comment in, and I will be more than happy to address your questions. For everybody that's just joining us, this is Website Wednesdays. It's a new series I've started, and today we're talking about call to action. So the idea is to have multiple calls to action per page and to align those with the buyer's journey. Okay? Now, how do you gauge which calls to action are working the best? Which ones are your winners? Okay? Here's the money secret on this. You want to, in Google Analytics, set up a separate goal conversion for each call to action. So on a home builder site, that's what we do most often. I might have a book a tour to see this model home. That's one call to action. I might have a sign up for monthly email updates on our grand openings, new floor plans, and model homes. That's my second call to action. I might have a third call to action, which is register for a white paper on the 5 things you need to know before you build your next home. Okay, so I've got three different calls to action there. Each of those can have their own goal conversion funnel in your Google Analytics account. And then you can compare which one gets the most responses, has the greatest response. And that's how I know that book a tour or schedule a tour is typically the winner. Okay, but all call to action is good, because at the end of the day, the idea behind having call to action on the website is to do what? Generate leads. And we can only generate leads when somebody gives us their name, their email, their phone number. A couple of call to actions that we haven't talked about yet. One is live chat. I love live chat as a call to action. You will find that in the decision-making phase of the buyer's journey, the final phase where they're really getting down to you and the other guy, live chat is probably your most powerful at that point. And what the online sales counselors who use live chat, what they tell me is that their chats are 50% more likely to turn into an on-site in-person appointment visit. And that the appointments that come from the live chats are more likely to write a sales agreement. The live chats, and builders get scared. Most website business owners I talk to are scared to put live chat on their website. I think they just have this idea they're going to be overrun. You're not going to be overrun. You will wish you could be overrun with live chat. Live chat's so awesome. You won't be. You'll be lucky to get a couple of live chats a day, but those couple a day will mostly be people saying, I'd like to come out this afternoon, but they're like right on the fence. They're in that decision-making mode and they need to know, is it this or this? I'm trying to clarify which tool system it is. Oh, all right, that'll tip them over. So I know I'm gearing a lot of this to home builders, but those of you that are watching in other industries, I don't see why live chat couldn't work for you in the same way. The bottom line is once your website visitors are in the decision-making phase of the buyer's journey and they're on your site, they need instant answers to decide you or the other guy, you or the other guy, you or the other guy. Whether you're a speaker trying to get booked for an event or you're just running a small business of whatever industry. And that's where live chat or click to call, which is a button you can install on your website that somebody can request an immediate call. Somebody clicks the click to call button, your phone rings on the other end and says, you have someone requesting a call, click accept. When you click accept, their phone is ringing. It is so fast. So call to action in the decision-making phase needs to be mostly revolve around you being instantly accessible to answer questions. Okay, I'm going to glance off the camera for a second and look down at my list and let me see if anybody is asked me. Nobody's asked me any questions. Come on, I'm here. This is like free consulting. What are you doing? Ask me a question. If you're just joining, this is Website Wednesdays. It's a new series that have started. I talked about all the apps that I knew, and so I ran out of apps. So I've started this new series today, and for the next few weeks, we're going to talk about how to make your website better. And today we're talking about call to action. So what you want to do is audit your site, see how many calls to action you have, and then start brainstorming. Just get a legal pad or get your computer Evernote app open, however you brainstorm, and make a list of every single possible way, short of buying your product or service, could you invite someone to call, click, or come by. I think it was Office Max, maybe, years ago, in one of their television commercials, Dave said that line for the first time. It was years ago now, call, click, or come by, and I just went, that's it. I wish I'd like written a book by that title. That would have been really good. But as soon as I heard that line, I was like, that is it. And that's really what we want to do. We want to consistently through the site invite people to stop sitting back and just surfing the web passively. We want to invite them to come forward, give us their name, give us their information, and participate with us. Okay? I'm frequently asked by people, hey, is there a way in Google Analytics to see who has actually been on my site? I was told that if I buy this program or I get this CRM or if I upgrade to the paid version of Google Analytics, I can actually see who's on my site. No. Don't let anybody ever sell you that. That's a no. We can see locations where they're coming from. We can see the trends of what visitors viewed, what they clicked on, but we don't know their names, emails, and phone numbers until they register or submit a form for something. And that's where call to action comes in. All right, the last call to action technique I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up for today because we've all got to get off Facebook and get back to work, right? Is having people create accounts on your website where they, for example, in Home Builder World, we would create a favorites, a my favorites account. So anytime you create an account on any website, whether it's Shutterfly because you want to save all your photos there and create neat little gifts to give people, or it's a shoe store and you want to create an account so when you come back to order, you can check out quickly. Whatever it is, whenever you create username and password for a site, somebody gets a record of that. Whether you buy anything or not, they've got your name and their email address. So that's one of the reasons why apps and websites all, but when you start seriously doing transactions with them, they want that information. So home builder websites, even though you're not doing e-commerce, you can actually do an account type of approach by doing a My Favorites. My Favorites allows a website visitor to create an account on your website and save floor plans or save inventory homes, even communities, into their account. So when they come back later, they don't have to browse through your whole site again to find their favorite plan or find their favorite inventory home. They just log back in on their account and they can see all their information. This might be particularly handy for your realtors. If you're in a market where the predominant number of your sales actually happen by outside realtors, that could be really handy for them if they want to save plans and inventory into an account for their buyers. And then they could easily find that and then send those links out. So there's several different uses for a My Favorites, but when you get into that second phase of the buyer's journey, where people are comparing and contrasting, a call to action to set up a My Favorites could be a really handy tool, and the one that we use pretty frequently on our client sites. Okay, so the last part I'm going to do today is talking benchmark numbers. What should you expect out of the call to action on your website? What should you get? What is a reasonable number? I don't know if Patrick Almonds, hey Tiffany, how you doing? Happy belated birthday. I'm glad you're here. I don't see Patrick Almond on today. He and I just did a webinar yesterday on generating more leads using digital marketing. And in the wise words of my digital marketing guru friend, Patrick Almond, your numbers aren't meant to be compared to anybody else. Your numbers are your numbers. And as long as your numbers continue to improve, you really can't compare them to another home builders or somebody else in your industry because they're not selling the same homes in the same locations that you are. And I think that's a fair and wise statement to set expectations. I will tell you, very generally speaking, a decent call to action conversion number for a home builder website is usually 1 to 2%. So if we say you had X number of visitors for the month on your website, not views, not total sessions, because that could be the same person on there 15 times. What we're saying is actual users. Out of X number of users, 1 to 3% will actually complete a registration form, do a live chat, call you. So out of all those call to actions that we have per page, you're still going to be lucky to generate 1 to 3%. To get to 3%, typically what I see is you have to offer some type of incentive with purchase to get there. The 1% you can do just by having enough call to actions per page and having them hit the right tone and message with your target audience, okay? The only thing I've left out is phone calls. It just occurred to me that I did leave out phone calls. Don't underestimate the power of that. And if you use a service like CallRail to generate a unique phone number for each of your marketing sources out there, you can actually tie that to your Google Analytics. And you can actually see in the goal conversions how many unique phone calls that generated to the website, which also turned into book a tour or request a price sheet or any of the other call to actions. So it is possible with your phone calls and your live chat to measure all of that as well. Whew, that's a lot, right? But it gives you a very complete picture when you do that of how many phone calls, how many live chats, and how many emails is this website really generating. Okay, so if you are a builder out there and you have absolutely no idea what I have been saying for the last 30 minutes, you need to give me a call. Give me a call, send us an email through our website, meredithcommunications.com. We specialize in home builder websites, and our home builder websites perform better than any in the industry in terms of lead generation, and we're proud of that fact. You can also catch me on our webinar series next Tuesday at noon, not 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is Website Wednesdays live on Facebook, but next Tuesday at noon, I'm doing an encore version of one of the classes that I taught at the International Builder Show in January. It's fantastic graphic design, sells fantastic houses. How to create standout marketing your buyers can't ignore. I'm going to take several examples from the 2018 Nationals Awards. That's the Academy Awards of Sales and Marketing in the home building industry. And I'm going to show you examples, and I'm going to talk about, from the perspective of a past judge of the Nationals, what makes fantastic graphic design on your website, on your brochures, on your pocket folders, on your web banners. So we're going to talk about what makes it fantastic and how you could bring your design up to that next level. If you want information on that webinar to be able to register for it, just private message me right here on Facebook or leave a comment right here. I'll send you the link so you can get registered. It's free, but you need to register because it's a call to action, right? Everybody get it? All right. It's been great talking with you today. I've got to get back to work. You got to get back to work. Get off Facebook. Let's get to work and go get some call to action. Get those leads, convert them into sales. And that's fantastic. See you later. See you next week, 1 o'clock Wednesdays. Bye.